Hello and welcome back to Lovella's Coloring. It is now September and I'm finally putting together a video of my completed colorings for August. I will be sharing with you guys the 7 colorings I finished plus a couple of whips I am working on currently for this month. I also wanted to share 2 miniatures I was able to finish between the colorings. So I'll go ahead and clear out my desk and we'll get started with my completed colorings. The first coloring I want to share with you is from the Travel Mosaic Color by Number coloring book, and this is by Sun Life Drawing. I am coloring this from the beginning to end, so I colored the second page, which is this one. I believe this is Big Ben in London, England, and I colored this with the Riancy brand of double-ended markers. This is called the dual art marker. I believe these kind of markers come in with different like other name brands, but they are exactly the same. It comes with a fine point, and also a brush, and I use the brush end to color these in. I don't worry about going over the lines because, as you can see, I use a glitter gel pen to fill in the inside parts, and I really like how that looks. Yeah, how glittery it is. Yeah, so I don't think I posted this on Instagram. This is a book that I have right by my bed that I do while watching TV. I finally bought myself a lap pad or lap like pillow table thingy. It has the cushioned bottom and then the hard wood top, so I use that to color in while I'm watching TV. So the next page I am doing is this one, and when I did this I was watching Carnival Row, so yeah, so this will probably be done in a few more days, hopefully. So yep, so this is my coloring for August in the Travel Mosaic Color by Number coloring book by Sun Life Drawings. The next coloring I want to share with you is from Astro Inkling's Zodiac coloring book by Tanya Bond, and I copied the Virgo page onto cardstock, and as you can see I used alcohol markers. So this is how it looks like. I started off with so this is cardstock. I think it's the Spring Hill one that I have, and I started off with the Munyo soft pastel, and then I put it as close to the image and then erased it, and then came in with the alcohol markers. I used the Touch New skin tone on her skin, and then the hair and her dress I used the Lemouche markers. For shading and for everything else I use the Prismacolor Premier colored pencils. I also use stickles on this part of her dress and in the sky, if you can see sparkles. On her eye I used the Wink of Stella brush to add a little shimmer on her eyelids. I also used the Achuspika and the Wink of Stella glitter pen on the design on her dress, and also gold metallic pen right over here. So yeah, oh my goodness. Sorry, kids yelling. So yeah, when I started coloring this, it was going so well, and then when I started doing her hair, a lot of my pencils were small. Here, let me see, I have it. So the purples I was using were the Grade Lavender. I was using black grape and violet, and I believe black, and they're all short pencils, as you can see. And as I was coloring, my hand slipped. You can see a couple times I slipped right over here, right here on her face. I was like, when this happened it was like really dark, and I tried all my erasers to try to erase it, but it would not come off. So I left it as it is, continued, and overall I'm happy. I really like the result. It's just learning to just keep going and don't let like little things like these marks stop me from continuing. So yeah, so this is my coloring Virgo in the Astro Inklings Zodiac coloring book by Tanya Bond. Okay, let's stick this in here. The next coloring I want to share with you is from Carousel Dreams, which is illustrated by Yan Puff. The page I colored is this one. So I used the Munyo soft pastels for the background as a base for this page. The skin tone was Touch New markers, and the rest of it was Lemouche markers. I did use the Muji colored pencils to shade it all in, and the yellow for the pony, which I based Fluttershy, was how I wanted the pony to look like, but the two pale yellows I had dried out. I was able to do the flowers and her dress, but when it came to doing the pony, it ran out, it dried out, so I used the next one up and it came out a little darker yellow than I expected, but it's okay. I still like this page. So just learning to keep continuing on. So I also added stickles here and also the Zig Wing Costella clear glitter brush. So there. Yes, this is also the first coloring in this book, so this will go towards Color Your Horde, and I also contributed this picture towards several other color alongs. So this is Carousel Dreams by Yan Puff. The next one I want to share with you is from Gnomes in the Neighborhood, which is illustrated by Denise Clate. And the page I colored is this one. And I did this for another color along. A lot of these are for color along, so it's supposed to be a monochromatic page. So I did blues, and what I used is for the background, again, Munyo soft pastel. I also used Derwent Inktense and Mitsubishi Uni colored pencils, Tombow Erosion, the Caran d'Ache Pablos. I used the white Posca to make the rain. It started going crooked because at the time I wanted to finish it up, but I was holding my son and yeah, so it came out crooked, but it's okay. So, and I also added stickles. This is the waterfall. See the waterfall stickles, color of stickles. Yeah, really happy with how this page came out, and it's also my first page colored in this book. So this is Gnomes in the Neighborhood by Denise Clate. The next book you may recognize from my Color Your Horde color along. What is this book? Lost You Forever is the name of this book. I don't know who the illustrator is, but the page I colored is this one. So if you didn't watch my color along, I did color the background with the Caran d'Ache Neo Color 2, and then for the rest of the page I colored it with the Caran d'Ache Luminance. For the details in the neck, the shimmery part, I used the Paul Rubin pearlescent watercolors. For the fog, I used the Arteza gouache, and I also used white Posca around the flowers, around the robe, and I used a silver Uniball Signo, I think it was a 0.8, on the lines on his outfit. I also used gel pen for the middle part, the stamen part of the flowers. And white Posca too, if I didn't say that. Yeah, it was my first coloring in all my Chinese coloring book. First time using gouache. First time mixing colors with the Paul Rubin pearlescence. Yeah, so I did that all on video. It's my first. So I was glad to share that with you guys. So yeah, this is my Chinese dude. And I'm so happy he's done. And I hope you guys enjoyed that series of videos. So yeah, so this is my coloring from Lost You Forever Chinese coloring book. The next coloring is from a really huge book. This is the Disney V Trolleys. This is the Spanish version of the French Disney Vitro, but everything is the same. It's just like the title and the intro is all in Spanish. And the page I colored, I thought I left the thing here, and I did. Oh, here it is. So what I used in this, if you watched my coloring haul, I recently got the Colleen colored pencils, and actually I didn't color that first. I actually colored this part first with the Colleen just to try, and then I went in and colored this one. So the whole thing, it's hard to see. Maybe I should hold on. There we go. So the whole thing is colored with the Colleen colored pencils, and then the background part here is Derwent Inktense. So regarding blending, with this type of paper, it's smooth and kind of could blend a little bit, but I went in hard, kind of like hard to soft, and then I layered it that way. I didn't try to go back anymore, so I think the wax start just like sliding on top of it if I tried to keep adding more and more to it. So you can see, like, I try not to do too much to it, but I really like how it turns out. I really had fun coloring with those kinds of pencils. It's hard to tell what it feels like. It's creamy like Prismacolor, but not so soft at the same time. So it's hard to determine where I put how it feels for me between all the pencils I have. So I'm still like playing around with it. I'm going to be doing another coloring with the Colleen colored pencils. So anyways, this is my coloring for the one in the Disney Vitro Disney V Trolleys, which is a Hatchet Heroes coloring book. The last coloring I want to share with you is from the Coloring Heaven Anime Special. And it is issue number 34, and the illustrator is Desti at Collateral Damage Studios. I did the second illustration, which is called Late for School. I did this for a color along, and it's colored all with Colleen colored pencils. I also came in with the silver Uniball Signal, the size 0.8 for the little buckles on the bag, a little bit on the rabbit and on her shoes, and on her face and her hair piece right over here. I also used white Posca. I also used the pale yellow Posca for the middle part of the flowers. You can see right over here. Yeah, so I did this whole page while watching both season 2 and season 3 of Stranger Things with my oldest daughter and my husband, and yeah, the girl, I actually based her off a character from a Japanese manga series, and it's called Your Lie in April, and you can find that on Netflix. My daughters suggested that I watched it, and after watching it, I kind of used her character to color this girl in. And I only watched about 3 episodes because we started watching Stranger Things, so so yeah, so this is the last page that I colored for the month of August, and this is from the Coloring Heaven magazine anime special, illustrated by Dusty at Collateral Damage Studios. I also want to share with you a whip that I am working on. I started this in August, but I wasn't able to finish it, so I'm continuing it on, and you'll probably see this in my September finished pages. But I am coloring this with both the Zig Kuretake Clean Color Real Brush and the Arteza Real Brush pens. I also wanted to share this because I had a subscriber ask about the Zig Clean Color Real Brush, if they bleed through coloring books, and I thought it would be easier for me to explain it on a video than typing it out, because I would be typing a whole book in there. So like with this one, I used it both with a palette and straight onto the paper, and these are one-sided illustrations, so I don't really worry about bleed throughs, though I always keep a cutting board or a cardstock to protect the next image. So I'll show you how the back looks. So you can see that it did bleed through, or not bleed through, but shadowed through. It didn't totally go through or anything yet. I mean, if I kept on going and going over it, it most definitely, I think it would leak right through or bleed right through. But yeah, out of all the colors, I mean, it was just pretty much this one where I use, oh no, actually it's on this side where I use the dark green onto the olive green. I think I was trying to blend it all together, but it's not so bad, I don't think. So my just regarding using the Zig Clean Color Real Brush, or actually any kind of wet mediums onto coloring books, if it's one-sided, like I said, just use a protector, like a cardstock or a cutting mat to protect the next page, or if you're going to use it on books that are double-sided, like I brought this out, the Mythomorphia, as an example. I did test it out in the back, like this one. I test out the Zig Clean Color right there, and on the other side it did not go through. I also tested the Neo Color, but as you can see, there's just like a little bit of warping, but not so much. It will flatten out if you have this laying flat with books on top or something like that. Yeah, so with the Zig Clean Color, I think it'll work okay. I think you just have to be careful with how you apply it. You don't want to keep going over it over and over again. That would definitely make it go through to the other side. People have suggested using gesso to protect the image on the other side also. I'm not very I haven't used gesso, so I don't know how it works also on this book. And it's with gesso, I'd probably also test it out on the back page just to see how the paper will react, and then test on top of that gesso just to see how it would spread, and then so I would know how to work it onto the page. And I also want to say that just because the Mythomorphia by Kirby Rosanis, you're able to use like Neo Colors and the Zig Kuretake or the Zig Real Brush pens, this paper is so much different than the one from Anamorphia, which is also a Kirby Rosanis book. This is his first book, and I already heard so many like bad stories about using wet mediums on this book. I'm not sure how gesso would work on this book either. If you have this one, I would also test it in the back. There's a lot of pages here where you can test on. So yeah, I don't know if I already said it earlier, but that is my suggestion with any wet medium. Test it on your books if you're not sure if they would bleed through, especially if you have a double-sided book, a double-sided illustration book. So yeah, I hope that answered her question, and if you guys have any other suggestions, go ahead and leave it down in the comments below. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much, and I'll go ahead now, put this away, and I want to show you or share with you guys my miniatures. I'm gonna bring my son out really quick, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I dropped my son off at his sister's room. So the two miniatures I want to share with you that I finished in August, I was pretty surprised. I think with one of them I spent like 3 or 4 days just continuously working on it. So the first one I want to share with you is this one. You might have seen it in one of my videos. I believe it's the Color Your Horde color along. And yeah, so this is the miniature I finished. Everything comes in little pieces that you have to glue together. The plants, you have to cut it up to kind of like glue it on to where you want in here. But it was a lot of fun putting together. You know, they give you instructions of where to put it, but you can still like put it the way you want. You just have to make sure like to listen about where to put the lights. Like where I put the light, where I put the light is actually supposed to be behind, but I put it up in the front. I think it's because it was so hard to glue and keep it still, and I just stuck it right over here, and I clipped it on so the glue would dry. But overall, it was a fun experience to put this together. Yep. So the second one is actually, I put it together for my daughter to bring with her when she goes to college in a couple weeks. So, whoops. And what is the name of this? It's right. It says It's Rotating and Music World. I don't know if that's the name of it. But let me go ahead and take out the glass top because I don't want it to fall down on me while... Oh, it's not glass. It's like a plastic. So yeah, so this is what I put together. Took me like 4 or 5 days. My daughter actually put the rabbits in. She wanted the guy rabbit to be in the kitchen. Don't know why. And the girl rabbit's here just looking out. So yeah, really cute. I used the plants to cover areas where it was like open, like between the levels. So that's why I put the vines all across here. But really, you can do whatever you want. I could have added more vines if I wanted to, go all the way across, go down here. But my 16-year-old, she was like, that's enough. I think you have enough. So I stopped. But still, it was a lot of fun. And downstairs is the like little cafe. I wonder if, hold on, there's a light that it's really bright. I don't know if you can see it. The little seats right there. Little telephone, and it's it plays music also. Yeah, really fun. My daughter loves it, so this is just like something I can fix or not fix, but put together for her, something she'll remember that I put a lot of time into it and stuff. So yeah, I'll be starting another one which I'm making for Christmas to give to family. And yeah, so I'll go ahead and put that down there. I just want to give a little update for upcoming videos. I do have requested videos to work on, so I'll hopefully have them up sometime this week or as soon as I can get them recorded and edited. And then after that, I'll continue with the next book for the Color Your Horde color along. I want to thank you all so much, and I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video. So I will see you all on my next one, and until then, please take care and happy colorings. Bye bye.